we learned a lot today. I learned a lot today about, like, I did a group, and instead of, like, normally I just learn from Vince inside and he does them, but I did it, and I thought, like, he's eating blackberries. I thought I didn't have, like, thoughts, particularly, like, I have thoughts, but, like, I'm thinking them. Like, it's manual. Like, I think like I talk. It was kind of just a slow monologue. Like, I decide to think, and I think. And I don't avoid it. Like, I spend time in my head thinking about stuff. But there's just the one sentence flowing with gaps. Then we were doing like a TTF, and I learned that I kind of think I have thoughts I don't know I'm thinking. Like, once I started writing them out, I realized it wasn't just like a chain of thoughts that flow on from each other that I'm manually thinking. Like, there is that, but in the background, there are thoughts that I don't notice, that I don't hear. Like, I hear other people's, but they come off from like behind me or to the side. But when it's mine, it's like, I didn't think I had thoughts that I didn't know I was thinking. And now I think I do. It was kind of scary at first. I noticed that like she mentioned, like, you know, what things do you think could be triggers? And I was like, I don't really think I get triggered. But she explained, like, a trigger isn't just a trigger to drink or use, because I've never had problems with addiction, or like a trigger isn't just into trauma and flashbacks, like I've seen everyone else deal with. Not everyone, but like I've seen loads of other people deal with in here. But a trigger is just something that makes us like think or feel differently. What are you doing? I turned the camera on and then he stops, but he was chewing the stick. What are you doing? Was that a good stick? So, like, she mentioned the news, and she was like, what about the news? And I felt like, blah, sick. And we don't really like pay attention to it, but that's because it's really scary, and like, it's a feeling in my body, right? But I spent some time trying to like pay attention to what happened in my head. When I started writing them down in the TTF, like, I didn't do the news one, but then I started doing it in my head after I did a different one. And I think things like, what if things get worse? And like, it's out of our control, and like, what if people break into our house, or what if we get attacked, and like, what if Vince has to deal with people again? And like, I didn't notice I was thinking any of that stuff. I just noticed the blah and the feeling sick. But when I started actually paying attention, like, I am thinking, I have thoughts other than the ones I know I'm thinking, and they like flash up, but they're too quick to like have in a sentence, and it takes a minute to work out like what sentence they make. And then I noticed that I felt kind of scared about that, because I was like, what if there's thoughts that, like, what if there's more trauma in me than I know? But the person running it said, like, well, everybody probably has some degree of trauma. But like, I guess because I'm always comparing mine to, say, like Vince or Vi, and they have like a really extreme amount to deal with. So then when I think about like getting triggered, technically, I mean, just going blah and feeling sick when she said news is me getting triggered. I just don't get triggered into flashbacks and like loads of trauma. But the change in my emotions is from a trigger even. So that was weird. And then me and Connor were talking about it, and I was thinking about it all the way back. And like, I realized that I do have a lot of thoughts that I don't realize I'm thinking about, like, whether, like, what if these people think I'm dumb because I can't, like, I don't have the knowledge that Vince has dealing with this, or what if I'm doing it wrong? And I don't think that means that I have like loads of really scary trauma to uncover. I think that's just probably like a way that loads of people think and feel about stuff. So I thought it would be really scary, and then I realized that if I'm scared of my thoughts, they're gonna get blocked out, so I won't notice I'm thinking them. But they'll still be there, and I'll still like feel something, I just won't know why. And then when we were talking about it on the way back and I was thinking about it, it kind of felt like relieving, actually, and kind of hopeful. It just felt like, oh, okay, this is why I like feel these things that I don't notice so much. And like, as it turns out, everyone, trauma holders and non-trauma holders, can benefit from doing TTS, from learning about what you're thinking, because we all have thoughts we don't know we're thinking. And that was really cool. And it wasn't scary, actually, once I started learning.